Hi guys, today I'm going to tell you how you can transfer 4K video and RAW files from your Lumix G camera to your iPhone or your iPad using one of these, an SD card reader. I'm sure there must be a video on YouTube that tells you how to do this, but I couldn't find one that speaks specifically about Lumix cameras. So I thought if I made one, it might save you guys some time. So why do this at all? There's a bigger story to be told here about my journey into photography, into interchangeable lens cameras, and more recently into video. And I'll maybe tell you about that in another video. But for the kind of photography I do, which is a bit of everything, landscape, street, travel, and even wildlife, it's important to me that I have the camera with me as much as I can. That means traveling light, traveling portable, and being able, if possible, to upload my photographs via my camera or other mobile device on the move. As I've got more into photography, I've realized that JPEGs have their limitations. The Panasonic will export really good quality JPEGs, but the camera itself is making decisions about how these are developed. And there are times where I wish to have more control over the editing of the photographs afterwards. For that, you really need RAW files, because RAW files enable you to recover some of the detail from the shadows and from the highlights. And so far, I haven't been able to export RAW files using the imaging app to my iPad or my iPhone. But with this device, that all changes. At the same time, 4K video is by no means a necessity. I'm shooting this today on 1080p and it's perfectly good quality, but as I get more into video, I'm realizing that it can be helpful at times to be able to zoom in on areas of the action and to do so without loss of quality. And for me, the 4K allows me to do that. I can shoot a higher resolution and then zoom in, recrop the picture as I wish, and export still as 1080p, and it works very well. So let me show you how it's done. I have my photographs and video on my memory card here, my SD card from my camera. I put them into the device. By the way, these are about £30, or I think there's actually about $30 in the US. So they're not cheap devices. There are other compatible versions I've seen on Amazon, but I decided to try out the Apple one because I had heard mixed reports about the other guys. Anyway, you open your Photos app on your iPad. I'm just going to tilt this forward so you guys can see it. And you insert this into the lightning port in the bottom of your iPad or iPhone. When you do, the iPad will recognize it's there and it'll open up this extra menu down here saying import. And then the photographs and video that are on your SD card are going to appear here. Now you can see there's two that have got green ticks on them up at the top here. I've actually imported these videos already because I wanted to check that it worked. But I'm just going to select them again and they'll go blue when I do. And then I'm going to select a couple of these raw images I've taken of some birds in the back garden. There's one there. Let's try this one down here. Okay, and then click import. And when you do, you get the option to import all or import just the ones you selected. And I'm going to import just the ones I've selected. It then thinks about it for a bit. You know it's importing because it says up at the top here, stop import, and you get a progress bar that appears here. But once they're done, the blue ticks will turn to green, and then it tells you that it's complete. So you get the option at that point to keep these files on the memory card or take them off. For the moment, I'm going to keep them on. If you then go to your albums, you'll find that these images have been imported as recent images into the iPad. Now, an interesting thing here is that this is not the current generation of iPad. This is actually the first generation of iPad Air. And it's taken me a long time to realize that I can actually import both RAW files and 4K video onto this iPad, because this iPad doesn't handle RAW or 4K video, or so I thought. So if I go into these pictures, in fact they will show, and the reason for that is that within every RAW file, I'm led to believe, there is an embedded JPEG. But look, what we're looking at there is actually the JPEG, not the RAW file. If I want to see it as a RAW file and to edit it properly, I need to open an app like Lightroom, which I've got here somewhere, if I can just find it. Here we are. So here we go, Lightroom. I add in photographs from Lightroom, and can you see that when I do, these photographs are coming up saying RAW on them. So I can go into Lightroom, I can do whatever I need to do on that, and you probably didn't notice, but this being a RAW file, it's not quite as hyped on the contrast or the highlights, but it allows me to get in, because it's an uncompressed RAW file, to edit it if I wanted to, crop it down, etc. And do all the stuff that you can do in Lightroom. I can recover some of the shadows here. Let's just do a bit of that, see what happens. Increase the exposure. Whoa, took a bit of time to catch up on me there. There we are. And then when I'm done, I can click done, and that will go into my Lightroom library to be uploaded to Lightroom CC if you have a subscription. But the great thing, guys, is that Lightroom Mobile is free, so if you don't need to use a computer and you don't want to send your photographs between the various Adobe apps, you can just use it for free. I'll be honest, I don't know how pared down the functionality is on the free version, but I was using it for a while before I subscribed to Lightroom, which is worth doing because it allows you to catalogue your photographs better and back them up on your PC, etc. But if you are on a budget, you don't have to pay the $9.89 I think it is in the UK a month to do so, and you would have a perfectly usable RAW editing tool on your mobile device. A key thing here though is that this is an older generation iPad, and I'm still able to do this. Now that's really good news if, like me, you thought that you needed to go for the latest generation mobile phone, and this is an iPhone X, to be able to do that, because this will allow you to take photographs in RAW using Lightroom and stuff like that. You don't have to do that at all. You can use this older generation phone or iPad, and I believe it will work back to the generations which don't offer 4K or RAW. That's before, I think, about the iPhone 6S, which is really good news. Okay, at the same time, if I want to edit in video, I'm going to have a similar issue. If I go back to my Photos app and open up the videos I've just imported, what I'm going to find is that one of them, which is a 1080p video, will play. And it's that one there, absolutely no problem. But the other one, which I deliberately recorded in 4K, won't. It comes up with this message saying that the video cannot be played because the file format is not supported. And actually I thought that was the end of it, until I watched another video on YouTube where somebody showed the import of some drone footage using the same method as I'm using here, and what they did was download the LumaFusion app. Now if you haven't seen LumaFusion, it's an amazing piece of kit. It does a whole lot of stuff that the iMovie app won't do. so it's really, really good for manipulating your videos. One of the things it will do, it comes preloaded with the codecs to read 4K video. And to prove it to you, I'm going to import both these videos. Let's put them both on the timeline. And if you see me scrolling through, you'll see that both videos are playing there. Now that's fantastic because it allows us to zoom in and allows us to get much better quality output from our videos if they've been recorded in 4K. Here are a couple of samples of that to show you just how much better the 4K can be even when exported as 1080p. So I hope you can see how easy it is to import your 4K video and your RAW files from your Lumix G camera to your iPhone or your iPad. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been of some use to you guys. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I'd be delighted to share with you my journey with Micro Four Thirds and with the Lumix cameras in particular, and with interchangeable lens photography and video. Do subscribe, do give me a like if that's the case, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.